Howdy there, and welcome to Virus J Total Madness, a fan game in the strange world of where everyone is a single color. And as usual, the purple and orange ones, or as we know them, Henry and William, begin to engineer robots capable of probably taking down your local government. Starting in 1971, both William and Henry decided, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we made, like, animatronics for hospitals? That'd be kinda cool. And so we have Virus J. Now, how the fuck did they figure out how to make animatronics in plain 1971? I have no clue. But moving on, sit back and relax as I in a very unprofessional and unorganized manner explain the gameplay and story of Virus J Total Madness. The lore of the game can be summarized in a very easy manner. William here, his daughter, is about to die of a named disease, which is probably cancer considering the lore of the game, but basically, she's dead, and nothing can be done about it. And since William's one motivation for doing this whole project of creating animatronics for hospitals with children with cancer was his daughter, he just kinda was like, why the fuck am I doing this? And eventually breaks the deal with Henry. They argue a bit, and eventually we get this weird ass line. My body hurts. And also, William, cut your fucking nails, bro. That is disgusting. Starting off, we find ourselves in an abandoned hallway of an abandoned hospital, and we hear the sound of someone
What the hell is going on?
who, according to the little amount of lore we get on the game page, has no memory of who he is and why he's there. We can explore a bit. How much we can explore, I'm not quite sure. I just kind of went into this room right here and listened to the tape, where we go on to hear William spout up some nonsense. Summarized, William is pretty pissed off that his hospital couldn't save his daughter, so he will find a solution himself. How he will do that? No clue. Moving on, we move on back into the hall where we are interrupted by this thing, whose name I could just simply not find out or find while rewatching footage and even watching some other videos of this game. Maybe I'm really fucking stupid, but I just couldn't. What its name is, however, doesn't matter. All that does matter is, he is mad, he chased us for a bit until... and here it is, an office. Yay. Here you'll probably immediately notice that this game looks pretty fucking good. From the cutscenes to the gameplay, the level quality and detail put into it is fucking scary. A great sign so far. So how does the gameplay back it up? Well, how about I show you myself. In this office we get basically two main ways of getting attacked. Lemmy the lion to our left, which can be stopped by simply flashing him, and the elephant dude, which is stopped by playing this audio in another camera in a very similar form to the Fnaf 3 system. You also have these hands and this thing, and if you play the audio, it will shut off your camera for a bit. That all sounds pretty interesting. It sounds like a recipe for a good game, right? So is it? Well, how do I say this? This game is boring as fuck. I can get behind the game. I see what it's trying, but fucking hell, man. This was boring to the point of where playing this game was really just nothing except... I'm having fun. And maybe I was tryharding a little bit too much, because by the 4th minute I had already found out the perfect formula to how to beat this game, which consists of the entire night being basically nothing except check the left window, flash it, go to the camera, play the audio, check the left window, flash it, check the left window, play the audio, go to the left window, play the audio, check the left window, go to the left window. After this incredibly painful and long section of the game, we finally get back to another cutscene. And here I am about Bobby, which what exactly it is, I have no clue. After this useless cutscene, we cut back to being able to explore again, in which not much happens. We see a board with "Never Give Up" written on it, which I certainly needed for playing this. And then we go into the hallway where we meet this fucker. We get chased for a bit, and eventually fall for what seems to be our death. Another cutscene takes over, and in this cutscene, when we see some stuff in which I have to say, Grey Hat, are you okay? Out of all the fan games I've played, not one has really had a scene where I was a little disturbed, except this one. It wasn't really disturbed as in scared, more so just worried for what the fuck Mr. Grey Hat Productions may be into. But I won't question it much more, and instead move on into... Are you fucking kidding me? Yep, the second stage of the game is the exact fucking same. If there was a little bump on the difficulty, I didn't notice it, because the exact same playstyle of check the left window, flash it, go to the camera, play the audio works here. Which of course leads to another long and boring section of the game in which we just have to sit here and fucking wait. Which in my opinion is a problem that not just this game faces, but many others also do. However, that's a controversial topic which may or may not get me into some fire that I'll probably touch upon in another video. Eventually, after this boring section, the hour thankfully ends, in which by the end of it, I think you could already tell I was done with the game. this shit again. Let's go. Can I go into this door this time, or will there be another thing waiting for me? No? Oh, wait. I already went here. I went into this room at a fairly quick pace, so whether I could really do anything else, I have no clue, man. All I know is another tape, William ranting into some shit, with a very, and listen, I know I've talked a little smack about the game, but this rendition of My Way by Frank Sinatra fucks. Unfortunately, it's interrupted by this thing right here, who calls itself the Keeper of the Fragmented Souls. What this could possibly mean, we don't figure it out, because the demo of the game just ends. Which, fair, of course, lengthwise for a demo, it's more than understandable, but after this pretty well done credits section, we get a little post-credit scene in which we see the release date of the game. Well, the year at least. Other than that, we don't really get any more info. And that's it. The game is over. Well, how do I say this? I was very disappointed, with many talking about how this game was incredibly disturbing, terrifying, and more synonyms to those two words. But instead, what I found, except the scene right here, I'll admit this icked me out a bit, was that this game is insanely bland. Don't get me wrong, there's definitely things that this game does right. The quality of this game for a clicky Team Fusion game is as good as it possibly could get. I really see no way that they could improve the visuals of the game. And the storytelling, which to some may be a little bit long, I found pretty interesting, and a pretty unique way of telling stories instead of, mini games. But bar those two topics, the game just completely fails to hit any of the checkmark. And I'm willing that even some of the worst people of when it comes to playing horror games could play this without any trouble, but should they? When the game simply fails to deliver any sort of entertaining gameplay aspect, I really see no reason to play it. Of course, it's only a demo, but for a demo to take their precious time to show off more of the story than actual gameplay, to me is at least a little worrying. Being completely honest, this has to be one of the most unfun fan games I've played, and God knows I've played my fair share of bad fan games. For context, if I were to rank this game in a tier list, it gets dangerously close to being just bad. Because maybe I'm being pretty harsh me, but to me, at least, gameplay always comes first before story and looks. And for a game to really just go all in on story and graphics instead, to me is the wrong take. Don't get me wrong. That's not to say a game can't have its main premise on story, and hell, visual novels exist for that. And I've played some here and there, which I've enjoyed. But this isn't a visual novel, and this isn't a tech demo to show off ray tracing, it's a Fnaf fan game, which has its premise on offering a fun or at least playable horror experience. This is neither. It's not scary or fun. Virus J really is just a perfect example of how a FNAF fan game, in my opinion at least, should not be approached. Of course, remember, this is only a demo, the game isn't even out yet, so there's still plenty of time for the game to be cooked. And who knows, once it comes out, it may very well be one of the greats when it comes to fan game. Until then though, we're left with this, a clear example of what is wrong in my opinion with many fan games. Most not to this extent, of course. However, I hope you guys enjoyed me being a little nonsensical and a bit harsher than I usually am. But anyway, I'll see you next time.